Deep in the heart of North Carolina's Pisgah National Forest, where ancient pines cast long, twisted shadows under a pale moon, lies a mystery that has haunted the Appalachian Hills for centuries. The Brown Mountain Lights, ethereal, glowing orbs that flicker and dance across the rugged ridges, have defied all attempts at explanation, weaving themselves into a tapestry of folklore, fear, and fascination. Are they the restless spirits of the lost, forever bound to the mountain? A natural phenomenon science has yet to unravel, or something far stranger, lurking just beyond the veil of human understanding? Welcome to World Mysteries, where tonight we plunge into the chilling enigma of the Brown Mountain Lights. Prepare yourself for a tale that will grip your imagination, raise the hairs on your neck, and leave you questioning what lies in the dark. The story of the Brown Mountain Lights stretches back to a time before the first settlers carved their paths through these wild lands. The Cherokee and Catawba tribes, whose histories are etched into the soil of the Appalachians, spoke of strange, glowing orbs that appeared on the mountain's crest long before European boots tread its slopes. These lights, sometimes white as starlight, sometimes red as blood, or green as emerald flame, hover, dart, and vanish without warning, as if guided by an unseen hand. For over 200 years, they've drawn the curious, the skeptical, and the terrified to Brown Mountain, each seeking answers, only to find more questions. One of the earliest recorded tales centers on Joseph Brown, a settler said to have given the mountain its name. In the bitter winter of 1832, Joseph's wife, Abigail, ventured into a raging snowstorm to find her husband, who had not returned from a hunting trip. Clutching a lantern, she called his name into the howling wind, her voice swallowed by the storm. Neither Joseph nor Abigail was ever seen again. Days later, villagers reported strange lights on the mountain, flickering orbs that moved with purpose as if searching. Some swore they saw a single light, swaying like a lantern in the grip of an unseen wanderer. Was it Abigail, forever seeking her lost love? Or Joseph, doomed to roam the slopes in eternal despair? The locals whispered of a curse, a restless spirit bound to the mountain, and the legend of the lights was born. Other tales add layers to the mystery. During the Civil War, the rugged terrain around Brown Mountain saw skirmishes between Union and Confederate forces. Soldiers vanished into the dense forests, their fates unknown. Some say the lights are their spirits, still marching through the fog, their lanterns burning through time. Others point to older stories of Cherokee warriors who fell defending sacred ground, their souls now glowing in defiance of those who trespass. Each tragedy seems to feed the lights, as if the mountain itself absorbs the sorrow and loss, giving it form in the dark. Close your eyes and imagine this. It's a crisp October night in 2025, and you're standing at Wiseman's View, a rocky overlook perched above the Linville Gorge. The air is sharp with the scent of pine and damp earth, and the stars above burn cold in a sky as black as ink. The valley below is a sea of darkness, swallowing sound and light alike. You've heard the stories, everyone in Morganton has, but nothing prepares you for what happens next. A faint glow, no larger than a firefly, sparks to life on the horizon. It pulses, grows brighter, then darts sideways with unnatural speed, vanishing into the trees. Your breath catches. Was it real? You strain your eyes, heart pounding, and there, another light, red and angry, bobbing like a will-o'-the-wisp, beckoning you closer. This is the experience of countless souls who've stood where you stand, their stories echoing through the years. The Brown Mountain Lights are elusive, appearing when they choose, vanishing before you can grasp their truth. Some nights they're a distant flicker, barely distinguishable from the stars. Other times they're close, too close, hovering just beyond the trees, their glow casting eerie shadows that seem to writhe. Witnesses describe them splitting apart, merging, or darting in patterns that defy physics. They've been captured on film, analyzed by scientists, and debated by skeptics, yet their secret remains locked away. As untouchable as the lights themselves, science has tried to tame the mystery, offering theories to explain the unexplainable. One hypothesis suggests the lights are ball lightning, rare, glowing spheres of plasma born in stormy skies. But the lights appear on clear, moonlit nights, far from thunderclouds, casting doubt on this idea. Another theory points to swamp gas, like the will-o'-the-wisps of old European tales, where methane ignites into fleeting flames. Yet Brown Mountain's rocky slopes lack the marshes needed for such gases, and the light's movements are too precise, too purposeful to be random emissions. Some scientists propose refraction, distant car headlights or train lights bending through the atmosphere to create ghostly mirages. In the 1920s, the U.S. Geological Survey investigated, attributing many sightings to man-made sources like locomotives or campfires. But locals, whose families have watched the lights for generations, dismiss this with a knowing shake of their heads. Headlights don't dance. They don't split into pairs or hover mere feet from the ground before winking out. A more recent theory suggests atmospheric inversions, where layers of warm and cold air bend light from far-off towns, creating floating orbs. Yet this fails to explain the light's erratic paths or their ability to appear up close, sometimes so near you could swear they're watching you. In 2016, researchers from Appalachian State University brought cutting-edge technology to the mountain: spectrographs, thermal cameras, and electromagnetic sensors. They detected unusual spikes in electromagnetic activity, but the source remained elusive. The lights, it seemed, were mocking their efforts, appearing just out of reach, then vanishing before the data could pin them down. The study concluded, with more questions than answers, leaving the mystery as open as ever. For those who lean toward the supernatural, the lights are no mere trick of nature. Ghost hunters claim they're the spirits of the lost, Abigail and Joseph, Civil War soldiers, or even older entities tied to the land's ancient past. Paranormal investigators have recorded chilling EVPs near Brown Mountain, capturing whispers that sound like cries for help or fragmented names carried on the wind. One account from 2003 tells of a camper who woke to find a glowing orb hovering above his tent, its light cold and unyielding. As he stared frozen, he heard a voice, soft, almost pleading, say, "Find me." The orb vanished, and the camper fled, never returning to the mountain. Others propose an extraterrestrial connection. Brown Mountain lies along the 36th parallel, a latitude known for unexplained phenomena, from UFO sightings to strange disappearances. Could the lights be probes, or signals from something beyond Earth? Witnesses have reported lights pulsing in rhythmic patterns, as if communicating, and some claim to have seen shadowy shapes, neither human nor animal, moving in the glow. In the 1980s, a trucker driving near the mountain swore he saw a craft, silent and saucer-shaped, hovering above the ridge, its edges lit by the same eerie orbs. The story, dismissed by authorities, lives on in local lore. Let's turn to a story that's burned itself into the collective memory of Morganton, shared in hushed tones on forums and around campfires. In the fall of 2023, a group of 6 college students from Boone, North Carolina, set out to unravel the mystery of the Brown Mountain Lights. Calling themselves the Ghost Light Chasers, they were armed with drones, thermal cameras, and a thirst for adventure. They chose Lost Cove Cliffs, a remote overlook with a clear view of the ridge, as their base. What happened that night would haunt the survivors and fuel the legend for years to come. As midnight neared, the group spotted a faint glow near the horizon. At first, they thought it was a star, but then it moved, sideways, then up, then down, in a way no plane or drone could mimic. Their drone, equipped with night vision, captured the light as it split into 3 smaller orbs, each pulsing in perfect sync, like a heartbeat in the dark. Excited, one student, Mia Carter, a fearless 20-year-old with a passion for the paranormal, insisted on getting closer. Her friends protested, citing the late hour and the treacherous terrain, but Mia was undeterred. "This is why we came," she said, grabbing her flashlight and a handheld camera. "I'm not missing this." The group watched her beam cut through the trees, growing fainter as she descended the slope. Minutes passed, then 10, then 20. The lights on the ridge grew brighter, converging where Mia had gone. Then a scream, sharp, raw, tearing through the night. The group scrambled down the trail, calling her name, their flashlights sweeping the darkness. They found her flashlight, still on, lying in a patch of crushed ferns. But Mia was gone. The drone, still hovering, captured something chilling. Just before her scream, the lights had swarmed her position, circling like predators before vanishing into the night. Search parties combed the mountain for weeks, but no trace of Mia was found. No footprints, no clothing, no sign she'd ever been there. The drone footage, uploaded to a paranormal forum before it was mysteriously taken down, showed the lights moving with eerie precision, as if they'd targeted her. The surviving students, shaken and guilt-ridden, spoke of a feeling that night. A weight in the air, a sense of being watched. One, a biology major named Ethan, swore he heard whispers in the wind. Words like "stay" and "mine," too faint to be sure, but too real to dismiss. The story of Mia's disappearance spread like wildfire, drawing ghost hunters, journalists, and thrill-seekers to Brown Mountain. Some call the lights malevolent, luring the curious to their doom. Others argue Mia got lost, a victim of the mountain's labyrinthine trails and sudden drops. But those who've seen the footage, those fleeting frames of glowing orbs closing in, aren't so sure. The mountain, they say, takes what it wants. The Brown Mountain lights endure because they defy us. In an age of satellites and smartphones, they're a reminder that some corners of the world remain wild, untamed, and unknowable. They've inspired songs, novels, and an annual festival in Morganton, where locals and tourists gather to share stories and scan the ridge for a glimpse of the impossible. But the lights don't care about fame or science. They appear when they choose, indifferent to the cameras, the crowds, the theories. For every skeptic who calls them headlights or swamp gas, there's a witness who swears they felt something. A presence, a pull, a whisper in the dark. The lights are more than a phenomenon. They're a story, growing with each telling, feeding on our fear of the unknown. They remind us that the world is still vast, still strange, still full of secrets that slip through our fingers like mist. As we close this chapter of World Mysteries, picture yourself back at Wiseman's View, the night pressing in like a living thing. The wind carries a faint hum, almost a voice, and there on the ridge, a light sparks to life. It's small at first, then brighter, moving closer, its glow cold and unyielding. Your heart races. Is it a trick of the eye? A spirit? Something older, hungrier, watching from the shadows? The Brown Mountain lights don't offer answers. They demand you ask questions, each one pulling you deeper into their mystery. Have you ever seen something you couldn't explain? A light in the dark? A shadow that moved wrong? A voice where no one stood? Share your story in the comments, and perhaps we'll uncover it in a future episode of World Mysteries. Until then, keep your eyes on the shadows, and pray they don't look back.